Alright, hey guys, this is Besmore, and today's video's got a bunch of different parts. This bit is from our last TW, and the reason I left it, I'm showing you guys this is because I actually made a change on my genie that I found to be quite nice, and that is I took Extreme Poison off and I replaced it with Nullify Poison, which is a wooed immunity skill. And the reason I did it is because in TW, Parasitic Nova is a pretty dangerous thing, but it's also a really obvious thing. So as you can see, the Vino's casting her Parasitic Nova in there, and so I hit F3, which automatically casts my Nullify Poison because of my keybinds, and I completely resisted that, so I don't get silenced, I don't get sealed, and I don't take any damage. And it also will work against any other wood skills in the game, whether that be Lucky Scarab or I think Mystic skills as well. So it's kind of a cool thing just to help me get out of situations without having to expend other things, because it's like 80 genie energy, so I don't have to burn an AD to absorb a Nova. I can just use that little bit of skill there. And this is why Vinos and Psychics work well together, is because this is like a pretty decently geared BM, and Vino Purge, Psychic Stun, and then the Vino goes back, and that's 2+0 weapons, and we still take down a tanky BM pretty easily. OP. Anyways, I'm just throwing that, I'm just putting that TW clip in there to show the Nullify Poison off, really. And the rest of the TW is so eventless and boring. We won in 23 minutes that there was nothing really to show or talk about, so I figured instead I would show you guys what I have been doing instead of PvPing. Because in case you didn't notice, I haven't put up a normal PvP video in a long time. The reason being, well, you're about to see, I decided to recast my weapon. I went and got enough to do like, I don't know, 5 rolls or something like that. So I thought, you know, I've gotta get something decent, or so I thought. But it turns out the whole reroll process is a mess, and it's a pain at the same time. So I had originally decided I want to have stats that are decent, acceptable maximum magic attack with high magic, and then attack levels have to be 20 plus. Now of course I wanted to see something like 23, 24, 25 on my weapon, but that's just being greedy. So I said, at the end of the day, I had to decide, you know, what stats I really wanted, and I had to reroll, I think 10 times. I didn't record all the rerolls, just a lot of them. But anyways, I got 22, 8% channeling, 9 magic, 142. Now it's 80 to 180 on the max magic attack. So that was a decent magic attack roll, but I got 1 point above the minimum possible magic. And the thing is, with that few magic points, you're not benefiting your magic attack as much, because maximum magic attack only increases like the variance, like the higher end, so it means your weapon can spike harder, but it doesn't actually make your weapon hit harder, whereas actual magic points will increase both the low end and the high end on your weapon, therefore allowing you to hit higher more consistently. So the reason I decided to re-roll this after a lot of debate was because 1 point short of minimum was something that I personally didn't want to accept, even though it had an attack level that I liked. Now the roll, I think, yeah, I ended up keeping something like 20 attack levels, but it has good magic and decent max magic attack. So the the reason I ended up settling for 20 attack levels was because I said statistically, if you analyze it, you have 5 chances of getting better attack levels. 5 out of 25% like chance to get an attack level that's between 21 and 25. And at the same time, I had a 2 out of 20 chance to get a better magic roll on the weapon that it just ended up keeping. And so if you multiply those together, like 5 out of 25 and 2 out of 25, and then also if you add the fact that you have like about a 40 out of 180 chance to get a better roll on the maximum magic attack, statistically getting a better roll than the end one that I kept was like 1 out of 205 or something like that. And I said, there's no way I want to go and farm 205 more war songs to get something that's going to be a little bit better. Because say this roll that you see here with 22 had magic attack at 19 or 18 or something like that. That would be a great roll to keep, because its attack levels is on the high end, its magic is at the absolute high end, and its max magic attack is not bad. So that's a great roll. I don't look at channeling at all because it's a psychic after all. There's no reason to there's no reason to concern yourself with channeling. Other classes definitely need to do it a lot more, but basically if you're Tide Spiriting, your channeling is irrelevant entirely because it overrides all your gear bonuses and just gives you a flat amount. And at the same time, most of your skills are really short. So channeling is like not something I was concerned about. I was concerned about raw damage, which is a combination of the magic points and the attack levels. So I decided if I get really good magic points as well as attack levels that are acceptable, along with a max magic attack that's not horrible, because I don't want to, I want to spike sometimes. It's not like directly involved in the damage, but it does give you that potential. So I wanted something decent. So yeah, I decided to keep a roll that wasn't that great, like, because the amount of badge farming you have to do, if I wanted to roll 205 times, that's an insane amount of badges and farming. So I kept a roll because basically it got really good magic with acceptable attack levels. And so now I got 21, but I still had really low end magic with the same decent but not great max magic attack. So I just kept re-rolling, I think, and I got progressively worse stats pretty much every time I rolled. I think this is the roll where I got the worst stats in the game. Maybe. I did manage to get 10 attack levels. That's how pro I am at re-rolling at some point. But I'd say if you're a psychic, yeah, there it is, 10 with 10 magic and 123 max magic attack. Horrid roll, absolutely atrocious. But anyways, if you're a psychic and you're looking to re-roll and you don't want to farm for the next decade, I would say 20 plus is acceptable for you need attack levels to be high because you're a psychic, and attack levels is kind of how you play the game, black voodoo, white voodoo, etc., etc. So attack levels, I don't think accepting anything below 20 is a good idea. If you're going to take 19 attack levels, it better have maximum magic, like 20 magic and maximum magic attack. So as you can see here, I got 19 attack levels, so I didn't want to keep it already, and then 13 magic, no way. Max magic attack is bad, so reroll again. Anyways, acceptable stats that I think for a PvP competitive psychic, 20 attack levels or higher with 17 or 18 plus in the magic is what you're looking for, with a max magic attack increase that's not on the low end. So ideally, what I was willing to accept was 150 plus magic attack, max magic attack, with really high magic and decent attack levels, meaning 20 something. But yeah, after rolling so many times and just seeing it, and then calculating like the chance of getting a better roll than what I kept, I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna keep the roll I have, because not having a plus 12 weapon is just hugely detrimental to the psychic because you lose out on so much soul force. I was sitting at like 25k soul force, I think, with my plus 0 weapon, and then when I plus 12 to my weapon, which you'll see, I think it shot back up to like 40,000 or 40,000, like 40.3 or something. So that's a huge difference. You take your silence chance from 15% to like 25% almost. So yeah, like rerolling was just hurting me. I couldn't get any kills in Nation Wars, stuff like that. So I ended up keeping, it's probably what a lot of people would consider mediocre, but I think I'll be able to make it work. It has high magic and 20 attack levels, so yeah. But if you're, say, not a psychic and you're rerolling S3 weapons, I would say definitely look at the stats that matter to you. For example, the weapons that give crit, getting the max crit of 6 is an extremely important factor, I think, to getting an effective weapon. And especially on the LA classes, if you get max crit and high dex, you're gaining like 7% crit from your weapon. That's just insane amounts of crit rate, so it's definitely worth doing that. So the other thing is S3 weapons do not refine the same way as normal weapons. They cost 5 mirages to refine, and their rates, their chances of refining are actually worse for some reason. Like they just don't refine as easily as other weapons. So when you go to plus 12 your weapon, I would highly suggest collecting dragon orbs to start refining. There's the final stats that I decided to keep, 2018, whatever. And I went ahead and it took me about 130 mirages, I believe it was, to get it to plus 4. and then I had already pre-made Dragon Orbs from 5+. Normally, I would definitely try to use Mirages along with Tishas and Chunking or Tinkong stones, whatever they're called, to refine it up a lot higher before using orbs, but on the S3 weapons, they say it's just not worth it to do the gambling. So anyway, there is my plus 12 S3 Soul Sphere. As you can see, I equip that. I do have a Cleric buff on right now, but I get 40.398 Soul Force and then 22 to 25k with Cleric buff. That's pretty dang solid, considering I still have full S1. And just because the universe is nice to me for once, there happened to be PK happening on the day that I got my plus 12 weapon. So of course, I finally went white named again, and started PKing. So yeah. This is like old school PK here. Anyways, I decided to stun this BM right here because it was on the Vino, and our Vino is our Purge, and Purge is broken, as you can see, because I just 21k to BM that has full plus 12 Jades. Just saying. Purge, most OP thing in the game. Anyways, immediately swapping to the Assassin, because obviously that's the DPS we were afraid of. You don't want to let Assassins just free kill everything. So, again, this is just focus firing, you know? Get rid of their, well, the reason I killed the BM because he was on the Vino, and it was an easy kill when the Purge procced, and you don't want to waste a Purge. But anyways, then focus the Assassin, then the Clerics, and there wasn't too much special stuff happening here on this day. The 2 people in the squad are buffers, so it's not like we have a full squad of PKers. We haven't had an active like Cleric that PKs in a really long time. But anyways, so you know, it's really, when you get in groups like this, it's a matter of focusing the right targets and like doing the right things. Like if your Vino's going to waste their Purge, you need to make sure you capitalize on that and immediately go and do something, because if they just Purge and then they get rebuffed, you're not doing anything. So as you can see here, both the Psychics, we both just went like Psychic Will, now your Blade Tornado doesn't mean anything. It's really awesome. So yeah, if Blade Tornado has become too overused in my opinion. BMs are just like running in and Blade Tornadoing. That's all they do now, and it's really lame if you ask me. Especially against Psychics, because we just, you know, we Psychic Will and walk away, so yeah, there's not too much to say. I think we had maybe 2 more people than them or something like that, but they were like pretty well geared on the other side, full S3. I don't think on our side we only had maybe 2 full S3s. And that's 1 BM and 1 Archer, I think. The rest of us have like random mixtures of S3 and S1 or something. Oh, and here, I used Red Tide in that combo because I needed an AoE that was going to hit hard, but I needed to drop it fast because I didn't want to have to fight around a Charm Tick, because if the Charm Ticks, then obviously they're not going to die, they're just going to have a Charm Tick. So I used Red Tide there as opposed to something like Stone Smasher, because it's just too long of a channel, and if I'm, you know, I want to drop a hard hit, I need to do it fast. So that is why I went and I went with Red Tide. I like Red Tide. I think it's a good skill. It's got good damage output when used correctly, and so yeah, when you're looking for fast AoE combos, you can do stuff like Crystal Light, Glacial. Earth Vector, Crystal Light, and Red Tide. They're really fast AoEs. They come out fast. They apply their damage fast. So it's definitely a good thing to use. Stone Smasher is glitched, and after the animation goes through, the damage is like on a 1-second delay, so you can actually cast Stone Smasher and then Sandburst Blast, and they'll hit at the same time, because that's how much of a delay there is in the skills. It's really awkward. So Psychic skills are just bugged. I think the devs in PWI didn't really do it correctly. But anyways, so this is just, yeah, we were having PK at West, and it was really fun. Since I finally had a plus 12 weapon again, and so you can see, just always trying to focus on the Vinos, assist attack on people, you know, switch to the appropriate targets, things like that. And yeah, there's not much to say. This is just kind of like, I'm putting it up to show that you can maybe look forward to some more PvP videos soon, now that I'm gearing up. I'm working on my gear right now. I get a lot of questions about gear. I have full rank 9 S1 gear as for my armors, but then my weapon is S3 now. So the next stage for me is going to be trying to S2 my gear, and then once it's S2, I've already got the molds to S3 it. I just have to finish saving up for the stones to transfer my plus 10 refines over. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to be doing, but hopefully I'll be able to get some more PK videos out. Probably not 1v1 videos because I've pretty much done them all, you know? I've 1v1'd every class in the game, and there's not much more I can say. If you're having trouble with specific classes, please let me know, leave a comment. I'm happy to give you my advice. And just a note, when you PvP, don't stand next to that green lava, this blue lava end thing here, because he totally interrupted my glacial shards channeling, and I'm mad at him for that. Sorry, it's completely random, but yeah, so what was I saying? Right, I'm gonna, hopefully if we get some more cool group PvP stuff, you can expect more commentaries. Other than that, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Oh yeah, for live streaming, how it's been going with the new TW schedule is generally we end up with an afternoon TW and then an evening TW. And I've been live streaming the afternoon TW and then recording the evening one. So if you want to watch some TWs and you don't have afternoon TW of your own or something like that, you may want to check my live stream. I do stream it as long as I'm not super laggy, but my internet's not very good. So that's like sometimes, if you're lucky, I might be streaming that. But yeah, other than that, I've generally been recording the evening TWs to make content from, but basically we have overcome, like, there's nobody on the server that can handle us in TW as it is right now, so whether or not I'll be able to get good video content out of that is we'll just have to see what happens. Hopefully, I'm looking forward to some fun TWs, but so far, Gold Diggers has not improved their game over the past 3 weeks, and so yeah, we'll see what happens. If there is PvE stuff that you absolutely want to see, I got requests a long time ago to make videos of Warsong Defense of the Path, and also of FF solo on Psychic. I didn't do FF solo on a Psychic because it takes too long, and to be honest, it's not that effective. Like, the clearing the FF is easy, it's just the bosses that are annoying. But if people still want to see stuff like that, let me know and I will see what I can do about it. So yeah, I guess the most common comment has just been about my stats and gear. So just to throw it out there, I don't know if I ever covered it in another video, but I am a pure magic build right now. I have base 55 strength with white numbers, meaning, when all my gear's off, I have 55 strength, and the reason for that is I don't have a strength giving tome, I have a crit rate tome, basically, and so I have enough strength to equip rank 9, which is 55, and then I have a base vite of 3, and then all the rest of my points are in magic to maximize that damage and magic attack. So that's my stat build. My gear is very oriented towards physical defense, with the exception of like the ring. I have a physical defense cube neck, I have a Wings of Cloud Charger with garnet gems, I have a sapphire hat with garnet gems, which is, it gives 2 defense levels, 300 physical defense, and then plus 4 more garnets gives it another 500 physical defense, and that's actually the only part of my gear that I'm looking to probably replace. And the reason for that is it's a really low level gear, so it doesn't give much HP when you refine it. Like, even at plus 12 it only gives like 1,000 or something, whereas like rank 9 gives like 1,600 or something like that. So I'm not sure if I want to keep that helm, but basically I amped my physical defense because psychics have no natural method for physical defense. So yeah, that's my gear and stats. If you've got any other questions, you can leave them in the comments, and at this point I don't think I have much else to say, other than the person that did the most damage to me in this whole PK thing was the guy in my own faction. So I think we ended up killing him here, because he was doing more damage to us than Gold Diggers. So yeah, this is one pretty solid psychic combo that's fast damage output. You do Sandball Clash into something, and then you use Landslide and Crystal Light are fast channel, fast damage applies. Like, if you use Glacial Shards or Sandburst Blast, they do hit harder than other skills, but they have longer cast times and channel times, and it's slower. If you want to apply damage fast, Sandball Clash and Crystal Light and then Landslide are better options, especially Sandball Clash and Crystal Light, because if you have Tide Spirit up, you don't have to worry about the channels. So it's a good way to put a lot of DPS in a small window, is those three skills, because they don't have any nasty cast time or channel time associated with them. The cast time on Sandburst Blast and Glacial Shards is really long, and it makes it, you basically lose DPS by trying to use them, even if those skills do hit harder than your other skills. So anyways, that's just a free tip about Psychic DPS. Other than that, oh yeah, the Mirai skills. I still don't have Telekinesis. I don't know why. It's got really cool applications, and you can use it in combos really effectively, but it does cost chi for one, or I think it costs like 50 chi or something, and I'm too lazy to do my Mirai skill dailies anymore. So that's why I don't have that skill. It's the only skill I don't have. The rest of my skills are Sage. So yeah, I think that's most everything. I'm sorry, I'm really running out of things to say, because I think you guys have heard me talk about PK for far too long. So anyways, like I said, if you've got a question, leave it in the comments. I'm happy to answer that, or if there's something specific you want to see, let me know. And all I can say is hopefully there will be more PvP videos like this one coming out in the future. If I get good TW stuff or make some cool plays in TW, I'm definitely going to try to upload that for you guys. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. So at this point, there's a little bit of the video left. If you want to listen to something, go open another tab on YouTube and play some cool music. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope you learned something. And yeah, leave a comment if you have a question.